This is Chariot TV.
Hello and welcome to Action Time on Chariot TV. My name is Ebony Jari and I'm very excited to be here. I know it's been a while being on this platform, but regardless, I'm here today by the grace of God, and I hope you're doing very well. So this evening or this afternoon, wherever you may find yourself, we're going to be having a wonderful conversation about the usage of technology in church ministry. And for us to realize that God has really blessed us with a lot of things. And even if you look through scripture, you get a glimpse or an understanding of the usage of technology in many ways in terms of advancement of building like an ark. There's a use of technology. In terms of like handwritten stuff, that's the use of technology. But when we transition that in today's day and age, sometimes we're a little bit shy to use technology in our various congregations, but I'm excited to have an expert with me that is well versed with the usage of technology, and he goes by the name Tag, and I'll bring him aboard so he can tell us or educate us about the usage of technology in our church ministry. So without further ado, let's bring on stage Tag, and let's have a wonderful conversation. Welcome, Tag. How are you today?
Thank you. I'm very fine. How about you?
I'm doing excellent, and I'm very excited to have you this evening. Before we even get into our discussion as to like you telling people who you are and whatnot, I just want to throw a light out there for you guys to recognize who exactly this young gentleman is. This gentleman, if you guys are really familiar with the COC Him app, this is the gentleman behind the app. He built it, and he's doing very good. So I'll turn it over to you, Tag, to let our audience know who you are, what you do, and what basically draw your attention to develop this particular app.
All right. Thank you so much for the time, and thank you to all our viewers at this time. As mentioned, my name is Chala Albert Kwame, also known as TAC. I'm currently a postgraduate student at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, majoring in computer engineering. For the place that I worship, when school is in section, I worship with the KNUST Church of Christ.
Nice.
And when I'm still on when we're on vacation and I'm still in Kumasi, I worship with the Ayida Church of Christ. But when I go home, I worship with the Lebanon Church of Christ. So I think for the intro, that will be it. Later on, I'll answer the rest of the question. So thank you.
Awesome, and thanks for that wonderful introduction and all these various congregations that you've been being a part of. And I believe that is what has kind of like shape you to be who you are today, and also see the need for the usage of technology within within our congregations. So for those that may not be aware of, again, what you do, tell us the importance about using, or tell us about, or walk us through the journey about technology and church. Let's start with that.
Okay, so let me just begin it this way. And we need to go to the Bible as a fundamental to begin with. And I want us to take a reading from the book of First Chronicles, chapter number 12, the verse 32. And I think I'll be reading from the New King James Version. And this is what it has to say. First Chronicle chapter 12, the verse 32. Of the sons of Issachar, who had understanding of the times, to know what Israel ought to do. So my focus is going to be on the first part, that's the A aspect of it. And what I wanted to learn from that is the sons of Issachar, as mentioned over here, the Bible tells us that they had an understanding of the time. That's the first thing that they had. And secondly, they knew what Israel ought to do. If you pick the entire chapter, you would understand that David was going for a war with his enemy, and there was the need for all the tribes to bring in men and all that. And the number of people that this particular family submitted, they were very few, they were in hundred, but others were in thousands and all that. So what we need to learn from that is they studied how things are, know the time that we're in, how they would employ the best strategy and all that. Not about the number, but they knew the people that they were sending were capable of doing that. So the same thing in our era today. We need to understand the time that we are in, know what strategy we need to employ when it comes to the aspect of technology and the church, and better know how we can incorporate those things to, first of all, easy things on ourselves, and make us more efficient when it comes to like ministry or the church as a whole. So what led me into this? So first, understanding this, that we are in the era of technology, and it can be employed anywhere. That means the church also need to benefit from the tool that we have over there. Talking about AI, probably this is the very first time someone is hearing of it. Talking about even adverts. Some see it to be like bad when you advertise like church content on music. So, but I think later on I'll throw more light on all those things as we progress for this discussion. So basically, we understanding the time that we are in and know better how we can use this tool that we have available for ourselves to help propagate the gospel and all that. That's one aspect that I want to talk about for now.
That's also, and I like how you emphasize the importance of realizing the time that we're in, right? And so realizing the time that we're in, based on that theme alone, can you tell us the true story behind the COCM app that you created? What needs were you trying to meet with that?
Okay, thank you so much. So first of all, I'll say I needed to solve a personal need at first. So this came up as a result of a personal need, and this is how the whole thing started. But I'll just be giving a high level story. I won't go into detail that much. So I wanted a station where I could have the song that we sing at church at one place. All right. So I was helping then with during my undergrad with projection at church, and since I was doing that, I had access to the library that we do. So what I resorted to do is copy pasting them in a PDF so I can kind of have them as a go. So when we go for say devotion, if I need a particular song, I can easily search and all that. But one thing that I realized about that is it's not very efficient in that when I search for a particular hymn number or whatever, I'll get a lot of results that I need to like scroll down and all that to get that. And secondly, at KUST Church of Christ, all right, considering our number, the hymn book that we had, they were not enough, all right. The hard copy hymn book that we had were not enough. And sometimes when you're at the back and the projector is has the lyric projected and you're not very tall, you will not be able to see and all that. So, I mean, if you've watched it with the KUST Church of Christ before, you will understand what I'm talking about at this moment. So, factoring all those two things. So, majorly, those were the drive for this particular app to, first of all, solve my personal need, and then the need of the congregation that I found myself at that moment. So, so at the end of the day, this came up, but the intention was not as we see now, right? At first, I think I wanted only the choruses. When I put everything together, I shared with a few friends. They gave comment, okay, this and that. And then I realized, okay, if I'm able to do this first aspect, that means I can do the rest also.
Correct.
So I because I had access to, I mean, the lyrics like from the SS, the SOC, and all that. Like I had access to all those things. So it have the time. I just have to put things together and get this realized. So I did that, and then when about releasing this, all right, I think initially I needed to do a test drive. So the K Institute of Christ had to use and give feedback, and then based on that, I improved it before this was finally released to other people to use. And like a lot of people are using this app at the moment, and like I was like, hey, something that started small, now a lot of people are getting benefit out of it. So for now, that will be the initial story. Probably later I'll add more.
Yeah. So I think we'll speed it up just a little bit. For
Okay.
those that aren't really like familiar with the app, I want you to kind of like show us like what exactly the app looks like, and then let's have a conversation after like you present the app to show them what it looks like. So if you have something to show, I think this is it, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. So basically, this is the interface of the app, and currently it has the sacred selection. That's the SS, the SOC. That's the songs of the church. You have the three hymn also over there. You have the ever, the gun, the choruses, and then a section for the songs of praise. So this application, as you can read from the description, is tailored for, I mean, burden. Yes. So, secondly, if you want more information about this particular application, how to get it installed, how to get any update and all that, you can visit the site shown on your screen. That's visiting cochims.netlify.app. When you go there, you get a lot of information. I don't know if I'm permitted to share my screen to show how the site look like. So when they go there, how they can
Do
update
it.
it and
I
all that.
mean, we're educating people using technology, so why not? Feel free to do it. Go for
All
it.
right. Okay, so let me just share the screen and show you how the website look like and all that. Okay.
Sure. While you do that, I'm also going to try and see if we have any questions or comments coming up. So give me a second. I see that brother Anthony Opon is saying, "Good evening, brethren, and God bless you all watching live from Mali." Thank you. It's the same brother again. Patrick Abbey is saying, "Watching from my Santi Bekwai." And then brother Donko is watching from Anderson Church of Christ. Good evening. And then brother Shadrach is watching. Brother Jonathan is watching from Timor. That's awesome.
Okay, so I have the site open. I don't know if you can put it on screen for us to see that. Okay,
Yep.
so this is a site. When you go there, you're going to see this, how to get it. So when you click on this download, you have three uh, chance or means of getting this installed. One, you get it from the Amazon App Store. It is free. And secondly, you can get it from, you download the APK directly onto your device. You follow the prompt to get it installed. And the next thing is the web app. And normally, I say this is for the iOS users, but Android users are also permitted to use this. So when you go there, you can get it installed. And there are guides on how to get it installed. And there are other sites or web link that you can use for the same to access the same application. So basically, there is a site. When you come in here, you get to see a lot of information about it, and then you are good to go. So that will be it for this.
That's fantastic. So can you talk about the user experience thus far? Um, because it's technology, right? And people would have different experiences. And right now, how are you basically like managing like the feedback that you get, and also what are some of like the drastic feedback that you've gotten thus far, which makes you think about the next level things to be doing for this particular app?
Okay, so I think someone is requesting that we share the link again. So if you can display this particular screen that I have in there, so
Sure.
that I can. Okay, so with the current application, because it was meant to solve a particular problem. Okay, I mean using the key NUS request as a use case for this. I think I got a lot of feedback from them while working on this application. So I need to give them that credit.
Hmm.
So when you realize, when you go to either the ga, the ever, or the chi, all right, there are corresponding hymns for you, all right. So maybe
Hmm.
when we are singing the chi or any part, you can see the corresponding aspect of it in the English, all right. If you recall the book of First Corinthians, all right, First Corinthians chapter 14, verse 15 says that I will sing with the spirit and I will also sing with the understanding. All right. So I think when you open the app for the first time, you see that on the splash
Yeah,
screen.
right there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I see it.
it's not by mistake. It plays there intentionally. So sometimes because people do not understand, let's say the chi that is being sung, all right, there's a need for them to also comprehend what we are singing. What are we saying? Is it an insult or something, or we are singing
Yeah.
to praise God? So we have like international students in the congregation and some who do not understand the Twi language. So it will be good for them to have that. So after I initially gave this test drive for the church to use, and the feedback that I got is that okay, like it will be good to have that like in it. But at that moment, I think I was working with my father here, so I didn't get time to that. But I needed to release the application also. So for the initial version,
Hmm.
now we have a 3.00 in there. That's the current version of the application. But if you're on the old one, you want to update it from the site. So getting those feedback, then I needed to know how to adjust things and all that. So after we're done with the courses, I needed to sit down and know how I'll be able to strategize to implement that. And to cut the long story short, based on the feedback that I got, people say, okay, it's useful, this, like those kind of things. But me, I'm not interested in those feedback. I need, okay, can you do this, like those kind of things.
Yep. The
That's what I
interface
need.
experience. Yep. Hmm.
Good. Can you do this? Can you do this and all that? And if you check the application again, those using the Android app, basically you have a station where you can play the audio of a particular hymn, all right,
Mm.
that are recorded. So if you want to learn a new song that you do not know, you go there, play it, and you get to know how to go about the singing and all that. So that those features are incorporated in it. But I'm currently working on a station where all the song that we have in there, let's say when you go to SOC or SS, you have access to all the audios available. I'm working with a spirit choral, all right.
Hmm.
I got in touch with them. I think they said they will give me feedback asking the way forward. So anytime they give the go ahead, then I will and get that implemented. And also, in addition to this, some are also requesting that him from their language be included. Okay.
Correct.
I think currently I'm working with the Fanti congregation to get also this added to the application where they get to use. So basically, feedback, I work, and I'm still waiting for more feedback to get this group. That would be a useful tool for all of us to use. Yeah.
That is very brilliant, right? And this also talks about, or this tells me that there is hope for the church in the future. And I like how you're being very innovative and also thinking about it to make it very personalized too in the future, right? Because from what you've just discuss, you're thinking about making it in such a way that it cut across all dialects, right? People can personalize it whenever they log into it in the future. And the most important piece of it all is also making sure that folks are edified whenever they come to church. Because currently, my congregation, right,
Mm.
we've now had like the whole English worship by itself, the tree service by itself. But in the past, if it was just the combination of both, it's very difficult for people to like follow through, especially when the songs leader would say hymn number 13, for example, from the tree,
Okay.
and then someone is standing there, you're like, wait, what? And they don't even know about the act, right? So I think bringing about awareness is like the best thing that we can do here, and also the future thought about making it very personalized to the user is like the best thing that can ever happen to anybody at this moment. So with that being said, what has been the most rewarding thing about creating this particular app specifically for churches? Like what has been the most rewarding thing that you've gone out of this thing?
Okay, so far, I would say the feedback I get, all right. Okay, you've done well. God bless you. Like that's what I need.
Hmm.
I don't need anything more than that. Just the blessing of God. I really appreciate it. But in addition to that, all right, when you check, I think SOC, uh, yes, the SOC 159, all right.
Hmm.
There's this hymn that says, I gave my life for thee. Okay. And anytime I get to read that, the question that I ask myself, okay, if Christ gave his life for me, what do I also have to offer? All right. And I think when you get to sing the song, it says that I gave my life for thee, my precious blood I shed, that thou might ransomed be, and quickened from the dead. I
Hmm.
gave, I gave my life for thee. What hast thou given me? And when you continue, right, uh, like it will be good someone goes out and check it out himself or herself to get and appreciate what that particular lyrics has to tell us. And in addition to that, when you go to I think SOC one I think 501. So 501. All right. It says,
Hmm.
take my life and let it be. And
Consecrate.
one part that struck me most was the aspect of the intellect, all right, where like you use all your mind, your might, and all those
Hmm.
things for the service of the Lord. So this was basically a contribution that if Christ did this to me, I also need to help him with this that I know.
Hmm.
So that's basically the motivation and the encouragement, and it will keep going to like crash again. So, yeah.
Amen to that. And look, I appreciate again everything that you're doing because many of us, by God's grace, are very talented and we have all of those gifts, but we are hiding the gifts and not using it to promote the gospel as it's supposed to be. And for you to come out and kind of like say, hey guys, this solves one of our biggest problems. This is fantastic. Right. So I appreciate and I commend you for all the good work that you're doing. But now we're going to transition into the usage of technology in different church sizes. You've already mentioned that you currently worship at KNUST and you also have been worshiping at other congregations and whatnot, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, what special technology needs does Campus Church have compared to traditional congregations?
Okay. So I would say that considering the diversity of people who do come to campus churches, all right, there's a need for them to better know themselves, especially when it comes to the leadership like aspect. And the same thing would apply to, let's say, the local congregation, that you need to better know your members.
Hmm.
And in knowing them, You can't just by eye spot, all right? Okay, I know this person. All right. You need to have like kind of a record of them.
Mm-hmm.
And this reminds me of Acts chapter 20, the verse 28. Okay, that is taxing the elders to shepherd the lost flock that
Mm-hmm.
he purchased with his own blood. So let me just start it from this angle that you are a headman, all right,
Mm-hmm.
and like you have, let's say, cattle, all right. You send them to the to grace, to the pastor to grace, and you do not know them very well. Like probably one is sick, you can tell if it is. But a very good headman knows that okay, based on the working style or the way this particular castle is behaving, it isn't fine.
Yeah.
All right. So bringing that understanding in like campus ministry or any local congregation, it will be good for us to have records of members. Know
Mm-hmm.
when someone needs help, when someone needs, let's say, there's a need for you to go visit someone. Probably the person is not attending service for quite a while. I mean, we are instructed in Hebrews 10:25 to not forsake the assembly of the saints, but probably it's not an intentional act. The person is sick, he can't train and all that. But when, let's say, you have a record that, okay, this person does come for service at all time, but what happened today and all that. So you get to have that good bond with them because you have their record, you can easily follow up and all those things. So there's a need for campus churches or local congregation to have record of the members that they are leading, especially to the leadership. And also internally, they also members also need to get to know themselves better using technology that are available out there. So I think for now, this is what I can say about that.
That's good point that you bring up, right? And most of the time we talk about church retention. Um, we talk about people not really showing up. We talk about our giving that's always dwindling. We talk about, oh, we don't know the address of such and such person. And I think when I connected with you, I actually connected with Tag via virtually when they had the recent Songs Marathon at KNUST, and you presented something about church systems, church management systems, and that's what kind of like caught my attention. And I was like, you know what, let me connect with you because I believe what you have solves most of the problems that in our church leaderships we have, as in the administrative work that needs to be done. So, do you mind sharing with us what you have in terms of like the software and how it basically helps with the issues that we have within our congregation when it comes to the people management aspect of it?
Okay, so let me just share that. Okay, so over here we have my church system, and the tag down there is saying that you're all in one church management solution. So anything that you need about the management of building in any particular congregation, this particular software has it for you. All right. Now let me just break it a little bit for us. Earlier I was saying that we are tasked addressing this to the leadership in Acts 20, the verse 28, to shepherd the lost flock. All right.
Hmm.
If you are leading people and you do not know any data about them, you don't have any information about them, it's like you leading in the dark. All right. So going back to the previous example of the headman where he has to send the cattle to the field to graze.
Hmm.
If he doesn't have data about them, information about them, right?
Hmm.
When he goes out there, probably he sent 100, and by the time he comes, it's only 10 that's left.
Yeah.
But if he has before going, he knows, okay, I have 100 animal that I'm sending to the field, and upon returning, he counts and he knows that okay, it's 100. That means he has done a good work, all right.
Hmm.
So same thing applies to it. When we are leading people, we need to have information about it. We need to know the number of people we are leading, what category of people we are leading. We are leading to God's people. When it comes, because the task that is given here is not a chart play. All right. So if you are leading, you lead.
Oh no, we have a technological issue. I think our brother's Wi-Fi cut out a little bit. Um, so again, while we're waiting for our brother to join us, I just want to say that the importance of bringing about this software helps take away a lot of most of our burden as leaders in our churches. Simply because we live in a day where people are swaying away from paper into technology and having things documented. And in addition to that, when we implement this management system tool within our congregation, as he was already explaining, we're able to have records of people that come to church. And the whole issue of, oh, brother S, brother Z, brother whatever, sister Y is not showing up to church, we're now able to target the issues that we have in our congregations. So I want to throw this out as a challenge to all the church leaders, that we should consider using technology in our ministry. And I think by using technology within our ministry, it solves most of the issues that we have, and we're better off to communicate and also connect much more with our members. So that's what I want to add on to it. And I think for now, because we have a technological issue, we're going to have to end it here unless he's able to join us again. But let's see. Oh, there you go. Albert is here. I'll bring you on the podium.
All right, thank you so much. So I think there's light out at my end, so forgive you for that.
It's all good. It happens.
Okay, so yeah, so I think earlier I was saying that I don't know if you can help share the screen again, or I need to reshare from my end here. Okay, let me just
you
do
may have
that.
to reshare
So-
from your end. So while you do that, let me go through the comments just to see if there are any comments that came through. So I see that Patrick is watching live from well, I think he meant to say KNUST because I don't know what KSTU campus is.
No, that's KSTU.
Oh, is a campus like that? Okay, I don't know about that. Sorry
Yeah,
about that.
yes.
My apologies for being ignorant. So watching live from KSTU campus. And then I see Abraham. He's asking the question. He said, "Good evening. Is the app free?" Yeah, is the app free?
Which of them is he talking about?
I think he would have to let us know. So Abraham, you have a chance to ask. But in general, is the app free? I believe you can just talk about it in general. And if he comes back with specific
Okay,
questions,
so for the all right, so for the COC him up, that is free. But for the management software, it is not. So when you go to the website, you get to read information about it based on the number of brethren that you have in your congregation. That will determine how much you'll be paying monthly and all that. So the application for the management isn't free, but the hymnal app is.
got it. And then let's see, Isaac is watching live. Janet, sorry, this is Hack. Hack is watching from Long Island, and then Janet is watching live from Kaswa. And then Jennifer says, "You're doing a great job, Albert. Keep it up." And then Obed, hey Obed, Obed is watching live from Canada. Hey Obed, I'm replacing you. Oh, I've come back to the podium again. So it's nice to see that you're also supporting from afar. I really appreciate it. Yep. So go back to what you were trying to say. I'm going to bring up your slide, and then you kind of like go ahead and walk us through what you were saying before.
Okay, so when it comes to the management of the church entirely, right? As I was saying earlier, there's a need for the leadership to have information about the members. Now, let's just pick a typical case scenario, for example, from the example that we know already about the headman. Now, when it comes to attendance, all right, the system supports that. And there is the importance of the attendance. Now, when members come for service, everybody understand, unless of course the preacher in there hasn't made the members understand the importance of not forsaking the assembling of the saints, then there's an issue over there. But if everybody understands that there's a need for them to meet, so when they meet, you take in attendance, so you get to know these are the brethren that were present for a particular Sunday. These are the people who couldn't make it. If there's a need for you to do a follow-up, yes. So the system has a follow-up module in it where you can manage follow-up for previous meeting days. Now, because of the data that's being generated by the system for your particular congregation, what that means is that when you want to take a decision, you make decision based on data rather than doing guesswork.
Correct.
Now, let me just explain that a little bit further. We need data in our era to do everything. Say, for example, you want to teach about absenteeism, all right, or lateness, for example, and you know only 10 people consistently for quite a while that do come for service early. That lesson is not going to solve the problem that you intend to. So there's a need for you to strategize. So you have record already that okay, people averagely come, let's say the church set up to meet officially maybe 8 a.m. all right. But averagely people come around 9. If we begin the class at 8, it's not going to benefit the congregation. Those who need the lesson will not benefit from it. So because you have data available and the system gives you all those things, record of past attendance and all that, you'll be able to follow up the average time that people report. So when someone comes and check the person in, it records or indicates the time that the person was checked in. So based on that, you can tell that, okay, averagely this is the time that people report, and that, say for example, you want to organize a particular program, all right, and you know you want to forecast. So data is available to you again. So if data is available to you, whatever you use it or how you interpret it depends on you, all right. Maybe I know this particular family comes to church very early. I could interpret it differently. Someone also can, but the essence of those data being available for us is to make decisions like more accurately rather than doing guesswork. Now, let me also talk about communication, right? When it comes to communication, it's something very vital for us to adapt. And the system has SMS capability. It also has that email functionality available to you. So when you want to send official message to leadership or something like that, you can send it by the SMS. But when it comes to the SMS, I mean the email rather, but when it comes to the SMS, any member, you can do that. Now, let me say, for example, that you receive a message, an SMS from your congregation, bearing the name of your congregation, and then saying, hello, Dr. Eben. How will you feel? Like, let's say you miss service, for example, and that message being sent to you, like you feel like, okay, so these people, like, they actually have record of me, they know me and all that. So you feel welcome into the family. And secondly, the system has this birthday module where you can manage birthday and all that. So when it's time for someone's birthday, you can send a person an SMS wishing the person and all that. And I also want to mention this, right? The Bible commands us to commands us to go out there to preach. But sometimes uh, people come to us, all right? That's the
Mhm.
visitors. I'm not talking about those who are ready from different congregation coming to us. I'm talking about those who do not know the Lord yet. Okay, I'm talking about those people as the visitors in this case.
Mhm.
When they come, how do we keep their record? Do we even like have their record and even do a follow up on them and all that? Do we do that? Like, if you ask most congregation, when you stand up and they mention your name, I mean, that's the end. Like, we are done with you.
Yeah, it's
So
right
then,
there. There's no follow
yeah,
up.
yeah, no, 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 we don't have time for you and all that. So, but the system has that visitors module in it where you can keep record of visitors, do follow up on them. If there's a need for to schedule time with them to study and all that, you can do that right in the system and all that. So, as you can see, all the solution, all the problem that you can think of, this has its right in there. So I'll talk more about some feature later on, or probably wrap it up in a video format for you.
Yep. I was gonna say, why don't you just walk us through what a typical Sunday will look like with this management system? And I think you can showcase the video if you have it as to like how it will look like for the person basically like using the system, how it looks like.
Okay, so I think this is what I'll do. I'll play the video, then that's summarize the entire system, how it works, what the features that are available in it, and then later on I'll walk you through a typical Sunday, like using the application and all that. So yeah, permit me to do this now. Uh, just a minute. Okay. So volunteers are empowered. Leaders have clarity over everything. Imagine a church where every aspect of ministry is unified, efficient, effective, and orderly, obeying 1 Corinthians 14:40, which says everything should be done in a fitting and orderly way. This is not just a vision, it is a reality. Let me introduce you to this powerful and innovative tool that can revolutionize your ministry, enhance your operations, and glorify God at the same time. Beloved, this is my church management system with our intuitive mobile and web app. Managing church operations has never been easier. From tracking attendance to keeping up with important announcements, everything is at your fingertips. Track attendance in real time and keep records effortlessly organized. Members can easily be marked present or absent, giving accurate attendance tracking for every service. Manage your congregation with ease, from member profiles to zone and family management. Our system allows you to keep every member's information in one place. Need a report? With just a few taps, export attendance or member data directly to Excel for seamless sharing and analysis. Stay in touch with your congregation. Send personalized announcements and reminders directly to members' phones with push notifications and SMS, keeping everyone informed and engaged. The system makes it possible for members who are far away to keep their offering through an online mobile system. Get access to the My Church management system on any device, from smartphones to desktop, putting you in control no matter where you are. For more inquiries, WhatsApp +233-501-305-096 or send an email to mychurchsystem@gmail.com or visit www.mychurchsystem.com. Revolutionize how you manage your church today. Sign up on My Church Management System platform today and experience the future of church management.
Yeah, this is fantastic. Awesome. Awesome.
all right.
So
So
yeah, so now walk us through
I
how
think
big like on the Sunday management.
So this is how a typical Sunday will look like for someone who uses this system. First, you start the attendance record. So you want to take in attendance of members that do come in. Now, unlike the logbook or any other system that people are using in here, the system makes it so flexible where you can any smartphone that has access to browser, right? You can run the application from there. You don't need like expensive device to run this application because it's accessed by the browser. Now, after checking the attendance, that is not all. The system does generate like report on those who were present, those who were absent. So you can know how to start a follow-up or something.
Mhm.
After that is done, based on the data that you have available for that particular Sunday, then you can tell that okay, this is what.
Yeah, I think we lost Albert. Um, we're going to try and see if we can get hold of him again. Let's see. Okay. All right. Well, while we wait for Albert to come through, I'm going to go through the comments just to see if there are any comments here. So we stop with Obed. I see, brother Jonathan. What Obed? Which Canada? Ashama, Canada, or Kaswa, Canada? All right. They know themselves, so they'll figure it out. So it was a banter, and it said, "Well, clarity is key." Oh. And then Michael Akwasi is saying that watching from North K. I believe that's North Kaneshi. All right. So let's give us ourselves about a minute or two just to see if Albert is going to join us. But please keep your comments and your questions coming as we wait for our brother to join us. And then we can try to summarize everything and draw a curtain for tonight. Um, let's see. But with that being said, while we wait for our brother to come back on live, I just want to see with my audience that are currently watching this video, what have you learned thus far in terms of using technology in our church ministry, and how do you think, and what do you think about the usage of technology in our church ministry as of today? Do you think that there is room for improvement? Do you think that we are heading in the right direction? What exactly can we do to help change the narrative in most of our congregations that we have today? Feel free to send your comments in the chat if you have any thoughts or any suggestions on how we can incorporate technology in our worship. Okay, so I think Albert is loading to come back again. So let's just hang on tight and hope that he joins us shortly. Guys, we apologize for the inconvenience, and our speaker is back. So I'm going to bring him back on stage for him to wrap up his thought on what he was discussing before. So yep, here we go. Yep. So I know we've kind of like gone over in circles right now, and again, to
Yeah.
our viewers, we apologize, but Al, let's bring it back home as to what we're discussing, and the importance of using technology in our church settings. And a typical example, like right now, there's like a glitch issue, right? How do we maneuver around it? Like, how do we take care of those kind of issues when it happens in our congregation?
Okay, so as I was mentioning earlier, right, at the end of the day, the idea of we inculcating technology in the ministry that we find ourselves in is this. We are in this era where everything is done digitally, all right?
Hmm.
And I think at the beginning I mentioned about the First Chronicle 12:32, that we having the understanding of the time. Putting everything together, we need to adapt this tool that we have available in our era. When it comes to keeping records of members, propagating the good news to people, like we need to use all means available. Talking about the social media that everybody is on, talking about website, all right. And usually I say this: someone out there, we will not get to have that one-on-one conversation with the person, but the person is seeking out after the truth. But the only means the person has is to search through the internet. So
Mhm.
when we are writing article to be put on those websites, they need to be search engine optimized. All right. You don't just spend time. Okay, I've written an article. That is all, and you just put it in out there, but you need to make it search engine optimized so that when someone searches for a particular say keywords in the article, the person get to see that and read. Okay, who knows, through that means the person would get to know the truth, and the person will be saved at the end of the day. So we need to make use of these tools available to us efficiently, so we are more productive in the kingdom that we found ourselves in.
Thank you for that. So you see, one of the points that you brought up, which I'm very excited you brought up, is like we live in a world where we're now evolving to be in the digital format with everything. But we have to realize that we have generational gaps amongst ourselves, especially in our congregation, right? We have folks
That,
that are
that's
storing data via paper, pen and paper. And with this approach, they may feel like it's very difficult and challenging to like adapt. So how do you go about that? Like, is this a user-friendly app or user-friendly website that anybody can use? And just walk us through so we understand what this thing is about.
okay. So let me just put it this way: that if anyone, okay, can use WhatsApp, the person can use this system. And if you realize the way the COC him up is structured, okay, it is meant to be easier for anyone at all to use, not complicated system. So that same idea was borrowed in building this particular church management system where everything is intuitive. You don't need uh, like someone to come and guide you, like walk you through it to know. But if you need any help, I mean, we are always available in there to use. And I just want to chip in this. If you remember when Joshua took over from Moses, okay, and the promise made to him is that God said He's not going to leave him nor forsake him. So the same thing, I just want to put in there that when you hop into the system, we are not leaving you nor forsake you. We'll be there with you. So you are so conversant with the system, and yes, basically that.
Yeah. So that also sets up to like the next question that I have. So what about preachers that are very nervous about bringing technology into their church? How do you use this medium to kind of like, tell them like to calm down, you got their back? Because again, we're all different, right? And I need to be able to earn your trust. So the preacher man that's probably watching you right now, what words do you have to tell them about bringing this technology into their ministry?
Okay, so let me just say this also that any change that you want to go in for, it has some difficulties at the beginning. We understand that. That is why we are there to support. But the encouragement I want to give is that if you mean to transition to this software, all right, because we understand that you are going to have challenges, and I mentioned that earlier, we'll be there with you till you get to know this. So feel free. If you need to know more about this, you can reach out. I think I will display the contact numbers for right to know. If you need more information about this, you basically want to be so certain about this before you finally hop into it. Feel free to reach out, and then we are ready to assist you in fully transitioning to this system that we are talking about. So don't be too tensed about it. Yeah, we are there with you throughout the journey. Yeah.
Much appreciated. And I know we are close to the hour mark, even though we had some technical difficulties here and there. But I would like to use this time to also thank our audience for following along, even though the challenges that came up. We really appreciate you guys staying glued to your screens and watching us to up to this point. So, Tack, we're going to be drawing a curtain, but before we draw a curtain on our conversation, can you tell us what are the three simple steps that you would recommend for church leaders that are waiting to improve technology in their congregation?
I think the question is a bit broad. So, do you want me to answer the way I understand, or
Yeah,
you want to rephrase that?
sure. So, what would be the three steps that you would recommend to a church leader looking to improve technology in your congregation?
Okay, so there is a whole thing. Considering our time now, it will be good for any church that want to stand relevant today, all right? And knowing this time that we are in, to have this in there. Now, when it comes to decision making, we try making decision based on data. I think I said that earlier. We should not be so intimidated or afraid to use this tool that we have out there.
Mhm.
I'm pretty much sure some may have issue with probably doing live streaming, like you see those kind of things.
Mhm.
But the idea is these are tools, all right, and they are not made to replace with the human beings. They are there to assist us to be more efficient and productive as such. So, if that's the case, any tool that you think can benefit you when it comes to record keeping of your members, you have a good data about them, right? On your palm, then you want to adapt the church system that we just displaying here. If you want to write articles to air your view on things out there, you want to consider websites. Like, let's just make use of all the tools that we can. And the
Mhm.
focus is we mean to propagate the gospel in all the means that we can. Like in our era now, we be able to understanding the time that we are in. And when we do that, it's going to benefit us and also those who would come across whatever content that we share online.
Perfect. So before we finally draw the curtain, if people want to reach out to you and have further conversations about the usage of the church management software application, um, or have questions specifically about the COC Him app, where can they reach out to you?
Okay, so for the COC him up, for any information related to that, you want to reach out for anything, you want to send an email to cochim@gmail.com. Probably I may have to share that in the comments so that we get to know about that. So you can send an email via that means only. Any other means, uh, I may not be able to attend to that particular. So if you send any information related to the COC him app via the cochim@gmail.com, then we pick up the conversation from there. Now, when
Mhm.
it comes to the my church system, all right, the management system for church, you have different options. I don't know. I have one slide on the screen. I don't know if you can show that.
Yep.
Okay, so you have the contact details in there. You can WhatsApp only. Plus 233 501 305 096 plus 233 501 305 096. You visit the website mychurchsystem.com, or you can send email via any of the ones available in there. So either the contact at mychurchsystem.com, or you can send it via mychurchsystem@gmail.com. So Those means I'll be available to help you with anything. And possibly, if you want to like hop into the system currently, you can just use the link that is currently showing on your screen to go and get that. Either you scan or you use
Website.
the link in there to get things done. Yeah. So that's it.
Awesome. Any final words that you'd like to share with the audience for today?
Oh
Anything?
yeah. So I just want to mention this. Uh, if you realize for the early church, all right, that if we understand that the early church used to have this means of propagating the word, they use letters and the role to spread the gospel, all right. Then surely we also today, if we understand the time that we are in, the digital platform that we have available to ourselves, talking about websites, mobile application like analytics, Google Ads, Facebook Ads, and all those things. We need to also make use of them today in the propagation of the gospel. We need to be like the men of Issachar, the sons of Issachar, who who understood the time that we're in, be able to discern. So let me say that they were quote unquote wise because they, let's say, they study based on data, then they knew what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever action that they did was timely, and they were strategic in their plans. All right. So we too today finding ourselves in the kingdom, all right, just for the sake of that, of the church which Christ died for to save, we too must employ all means available to us in the propagation of the gospel. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Tack. I really appreciate everything that you've done for us this evening. And I like the fact that you've painted the picture that we no longer have any excuse when it comes to the mediums that we can use to propagate the gospel. It's now up to us as viewers and listeners and church leaders all here listening, going through this platform, to realize that technology is good. Technology helps make things efficient. Technology also helps for us to connect with the members to know their burdens. Then being in the congregation where things are basically secluded and people not really know the main issues of why people are not really coming to church and whatnot. So without further ado, I'd like to say thank you all to our audience also for being engaging for today. And we look forward to seeing you next time. Take care.